Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Magic. This week we are running a Boros tokens list. You may notice that our curve starts at the 2 mana slot. The reason for that is I am running Boros Guildgates in this deck. Those come into play tapped, so we really can't guarantee that we're going to be able to make our 1-drops on turn 1 if we have them. So we are running Topan Freeblades. These are just a really good aggressive creature that if they get renowned will become a 3/3. The vigilance will allow them to stay on defense as well even when they attack. We're running Abbots of Keral Keep. Just a general card advantage in a color combination that doesn't generally get a lot of card advantage. We're running Subterranean Scouts, 3 of those, to try to help our renowned creatures become renowned. We're running 2 Twin Bolts as removal. We are running Dragon Fodders, 4 of those, as you might imagine, in a deck that's sort of token based. We are running 3 Skyhunter Skirmishers, which on their own are not that threatening, though with the double strike, when they hit, they do 2 damage. But with some of the pump effects that we have, they are going to deal quite a lot of damage if they get through. We are running 3 Thopter Engineers. This will give our Thopters haste, as well as just being a card that puts multiple creatures onto the battlefield at one time. We're running 4 Ghirapur Gearcrafter for the same reason. 3 Iroas Champion, another double strike creature, which again with our pump is going to carry a lot of the weight of dealing damage in this deck. We're running 2 Kytheon's Tactics. This is a sorcery speed creature pump. We'll give all our creatures +2/+1. If we have spell mastery, it will allow them to stay untapped and be on defense. Generally though, we'll be using that as a finisher. 2 Exquisite Firecraft as removal and also finisher, Dome Burn. Pia and Kiran Nalaar, which are really good in this deck. They're our version of the Whirler Rogue, putting 3 creatures onto the battlefield at once, as well as the utility effect of being able to sacrifice an artifact and deal 2 damage. And we're running 3 Valor and Akros, which is kind of the point of the deck. We will be putting multiple creatures into play at one time, pumping the rest of our creatures for those. If we cast a Dragon Fodder or one of the Thopter guys other than Pia and Kiran Nalaar, all our stuff will get +2/+2. If we cast Pia and Kiran Nalaar, all our things will get +3/+3. Land-wise, we are running 8 plains and 9 mountains, as we are a bit heavier on red than we are on white. We're running 2 Clifftop Retreats and 4 Boros Guildgates. Let's get in there and see how this thing shakes out. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. We have a good curve and hopefully we won't draw many more lands. We're going to go ahead and keep this. If we can curve from turn 2 out into this and not get it removed and then start dropping some cards that produce multiple creatures at a time, we will be able to finish this rather quickly. That's not a guarantee though. We don't know what our opponent is running at the moment, and unfortunately we top decked a 5th land, which is not something I particularly am happy to see, but we will try to deal with it. Looks like our opponent might have forgotten to sack their Evolving Wilds. Or maybe they were short on land and wanted the opportunity to draw a land without thinning their deck out of lands anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and drop our Freeblade. Hopefully we can get her in there and renowned, and then we'll have a 3/3 vigilant creature on board, which is pretty good on turn 3. Looks like we're playing Sultai. A lot of the Sultai decks I've been facing lately are mill decks. A lot of them are running fogs, so there's that to think of. Sphinx's tutelage here. Whenever our opponent draws a card, we will have to mill 2 of our cards to our graveyard. Alright. Go ahead and renown our Freeblade here. Right. And they're a black short of Languish right now. That doesn't mean they couldn't just untap and drop a black source and then Languish us. As it is though, I'm going to go ahead and cast a Gearcrafter. I think that's fine. That will give us a pretty significant presence on board. We really won't need to extend any further. We will still probably try to drop our Valor and Akros next turn, just to set up to try to finish the game out. See, they milled a Dragon Fodder and another Valor, so hopefully this Valor will stick. We also have the Kytheon's Tactics in our hand, which is another good finishing card if you have a significant number of creatures on board. Ah, we're getting bone splinters. Probably the Freeblade? Yep. That leads me to think that they do not have the ability to Languish next turn. I'm going to go ahead and swing in for 3 damage. And I'm still going to drop the Valor. Hopefully they don't have any enchantment removal in their hand or coming up on top of their deck. And next turn, we can pump everything and get in there for quite a bit of damage. Okay, what are you going to mill? Engineer and a Skyhunter Skirmisher. Definitely have enough black mana to Languish now, if you have access to it. Whether you want to do that, though, is another thing entirely. There's another way to find a Languish. At the moment, we do have Spell Mastery. Well, no, we don't. It has to be instant or sorcery, not enchantments. So we need 1 more instant or sorcery in our graveyard to have Spell Mastery. And using spot removal again just to me reinforces the fact that there is no sweeper in our opponent's hand. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to build my board, or rebuild as the case seems to be. Get in there for 3 damage. All right. There you go, little Thopter. Just trot over there and give him a peck upside the head. Valor and Akros is really good too with the Thopter Engineer. With her out, then all our Thopters that get produced have haste, and they get buffed as well from the Valor, so that's extra damage out of nowhere if you have that set up. Depending on what our opponent's... it's really tempting to Firecraft that Vine out of the way. It's going to be just as much damage though if I swing in and he blocks it. That would be 6, take our opponent to 6. If I cast Kytheon's Tactics. I think we're just going to attack as is. Get in what damage we can and hold off. I may be wrong in doing that. We could lose enough creatures that it's not going to get there next turn, but we do have the Exquisite Firecraft in our hand as well. I'd rather not blow everything that I've got in hand and not get our opponent to 0. Alright, pass the turn. And as it was, if we had cast Kytheon's Tactics, we would have done 6, taking our opponent to 6, then Exquisite Firecraft would have taken them to 2. And that just would not have been enough to get there. So Nissa should flip now. And in my opponent's position, I think that they will probably make an elemental. Maybe totally off on that, but no. Going for the carded draw. Okay, so they can cast that and have a blocker. If they do, though, they will not have enough mana up to counter what we are about to do to them. They could have a fog, though. These decks often do run fogs, which would prevent our combat damage. Barring a fog in hand, though, we should win on this turn. I'm going to go for it in any case. Play our land. Guess we go ahead and play out our Freeblade for the pump. I don't think I'm going to Kytheon's Tactics just in case that there is a fog. I want the player, thank you. Not the Planeswalker. All right. Now the question is, what can our opponent do at this point to prevent us from taking the game? I could have just Kytheon's Tactics there and tried to get in there. I've just played enough of these decks on here that I'm really, really leery about playing into a fog. We still do not have Spell Mastery, even with all those mills. All right. Reeve Soul to hand. Question I'm interested in seeing answered is whether you have a Languish. And apparently not. You don't spot removal when you can board wipe. Generally you don't. Unless you either missed that you could board wipe or you have something else going on. Alright, so we're going to be able to play what we have unfettered. What are you recurring with your Scarab there? Reef Soul again, okay. And again, it looks like our opponent may have a fog. I'm going to go ahead and play Tactics and hold back on the Dragon Fodder, just to play around a potential board wipe coming up shortly. Attack our opponent. We don't care about Nissa at the moment. Do you have a fog, friend? And apparently not. So that's the game. Alright, we can't keep this. We can, however, keep this. This is pretty good. Albeit we do need to draw, you know, a couple lands, which would be really nice, but it's pretty good otherwise. Could have played the mountain. Clifftop Retreat will come into play untapped if I have a mountain or a plains out. I'd rather just go ahead and get the duel out since I don't have anything to cast on turn 1 with it. And there's not any 2-mana land destruction in this format. Alright, go ahead and drop a Topan Freeblade. Looks like our opponent is Jund colors of some derivation. If we can top deck a couple of lands, we are going to be in good shape. Is our opponent 4 colors? Is our opponent maybe even 5 colors? This is something new. I haven't seen this on Duels Origins. Well, he's casting Esperzoa to block. It's going to bounce at his upkeep. He doesn't know, however, that it doesn't matter because I'm going to get in with the Freeblade anyway. Go ahead and attack, and then we'll drop our mountain that we were so very lucky to draw. Would like to have a white source next to be able to cast the tactics, although any 4th land would be pretty welcome. Okay, is he going to recast Esperzoa, or is he going to play something else? All right. So our opponent declines to cast Esperzoa. Looks like he has some sort of combat trick to be doing here. Go ahead and attack, and we'll see what he has in store for us. Fog, okay. As I said before, I've been seeing quite a few fogs here lately. And I just realized something. Our opponent is playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60, 62, 60, a 67 card deck. That's not the best idea to be doing, folks. You really don't want to go above 60 cards, not unless you're playing something like Battle of Wits. And as Battle of Wits isn't in this game, then there's really no reason for you to be going above 60 cards with your deck. Right, we're going to Subterranean Scout again, this time on our double striker here. We'll get in there for... I'm going to attack with the Freeblade too. If they want to block it and let their Esperzoa die, that's fine by me at this point. I've got plenty of threats in my hand. Alrighty then. What to expect from this deck? Fleshbag Marauder, okay. We'll sack a Subterranean Scout. Keep our double striker out. I think I'm going to go ahead and swing first. Then I'm probably going to play Abbot, attempting to hit a 4th land. Yeah, that's seems to be the best play at the moment to me. Could have just played one of these other cards, but I'd rather... Oh, no, Twin Bolt, couldn't play it. That's fine. No biggie. And our opponent couldn't muster anything, which I'm sorry to say is definitely a symptom of playing with just more than 60 cards in your deck. You just don't draw what you need to draw when you need to draw it. Okay. I don't think I can keep this hand. This is just too slow. That's a bit better. I'm going to take the chance. I don't want to go to 6, and if we draw a white mana source, we are in really good shape with this. Ooh, looks like we are playing an aggro deck. Possibly mono white, possibly Boros or Azurius, maybe even Orzhov. We did draw a plains. That is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just play our Subterranean Scout just as a 2/1. He'll give himself unblockable till the end of turn. Don't really foresee myself blocking the Elite Vanguard with him. But, oh, and it is indeed Orzhov. So Orzhov Auras. Fair enough. I think I probably want to drop my double striker this coming turn. Go ahead and get in for 2. That will save my multi-creature card here in case we can get a Valor and Akros into play. Maybe we can just race our opponent. Don't know if they want to do that though. Ooh, a Corpse Hauler. Sacrifice it to return another creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It's alright then. And I'll go ahead and swing. I would actually rather he let his Corpse Hauler die and trade with my Subterranean Scout rather than letting it animate something that's more of a threat to me later on. Okay. It's fine by me. I think I want to go ahead and drop my other double striker. Hopefully we don't get languished, but I don't really foresee a deck like this to be playing Languish. I could be wrong. He very well could be playing Languish. So enough of racing then, huh? Okay. Well, I'm going to swing with my double strikers. At the very least, it will trade with his Elite Vanguard if he blocks it, and it will take out the Blessed Spirits without any fuss. Alright, go ahead and play a Gearcrafter. If he attacks with that spirit, I may just play Thopter Engineer and swing out. I don't think he's going to do that though. Seeing as how he held back to block last turn and the board's even more in my favor this turn. Okay, Infernal Scarring. +2/+0 when this creature dies. Draw a card. Okay. And Kytheon. Alright, we got a Dragon Fodder there. Yeah, I think it's time to just start getting in there. Not that we haven't been thus far, but I mean just really going at him. There we go. He can trade his Blessed Spirits for my double striker if he likes. Still got other creatures on the board. But he doesn't like, so we're doing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, taking our opponent to 4. This is a place that I'm pretty happy being. Top decking Exquisite Firecraft would just straight up finish the job at this point. Right? So this time he has to block our Double Striker. Go ahead and play that. So he blocks our Double Striker here if he wants to kill it. Then he can block this and this. 2 will get in. I can get in for 3 with the Gearcrafter, which is what I think I'm going to do. Let's just tap all mountains, please. Because these things have haste. I'm going to go ahead and swing. I'm not going to play the Dragon Fodder. I do want to hedge my bets in case of a board wipe. He does have 5 mana now, and these Aura decks are known to be playing Tragic Arrogance at times. I know in the one that I played a few weeks ago, I was definitely running Tragic Arrogance. It's pretty good. Okay, so he's not trying to kill the Double Striker. Guess he values the 5/3 more. Make Kytheon indestructible. Okay, that's fine. Well, I guess that will kill the Double Striker then, since he's indestructible. That's fine. Okay, so now I think I do, things working out as they did, I do need to play the Dragon Fodder. That will give me the best chance of getting lethal through next turn. What are those last 2 cards in your hand, friend? You at 1 life there. Could swing and flip Kytheon and then untap something, giving it indestructible. That's not a great idea, though. Well, there's a life linker now. 4/3 life link. So, got to figure that into the equation. So, I just attack with my... Do I just attack with my flyers and win here? Does he have Celestial? Is he playing Celestial Flyer? That's the question. He does have 2 white untapped. Well, we're going to test that and see, aren't we? That way he can't get the life gain from his life linker. If he has Celestial Flyer, he's still in this. But if not, then he's dead. Okay, well, I mean, if he had Celestial Flare, he needed to cast it before blocking. Well, that's it for this episode of Friday Night Magic. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like below. It really does help. Consider subscribing to the channel. I put up content every day with magic content on Fridays. I would love to have you as a viewer. Comment below if you have anything to say about what's gone on here tonight. And until next time, be excellent to each other.